Well, to set up the pick and roll, because that's what you're going to see all afternoon is the Rockets running pick and roll and trying to exploit it, and that's what it happens. You get shots, the Rockets are exploiting it thus far in this series.
Yao Ming is very proficient from that spot from which he just shot about 17 feet on the long twos, and there's a long two by Karl Malone, but one difference. We understand he's doing very well, and then Van Gundy got the job his first year here after several successful years in New York.
Great job of closing the airspace on Yao, making it very difficult for him to shoot.
Malone trying to get it to O'Neal, who gets it back after it was deflected by Yao underneath. Shaq was able to catch it.
Kobe is the most maligned great player that I've ever seen. You know, he, in my opinion, since Jordan, he's the best player in our league.
Steve Francis puts in a long two to tie the game. Malone quickly answers.
Very important. Karl Malone is going to get...
You know, the way the Rockets ended the game and the crowd going crazy, and they haven't won a playoff series since '97. It's a little understandable. But Mobley then takes it to the hoop and jams it home.
You make it on their play.
Malone with that ill-advised behind-the-back bounce pass, and that leads to this three-point attempt from Mobley that doesn't go, but then Yao gets the roll.
In transition.
Can't just win it on defense totally. Of course, Van Gundy, the defensive guru, as Malone puts it in again. So Karl Malone right now. Jim Jackson, 12 years in the league, 10th team. Yao Ming's second year in the league. Francis in his fifth. Steve Francis for three.
You can really see the Lakers trying to involve Gary Payton. It's rare that you'll see a point guard in the triangle offense on the post, yet that was by Phil Jackson's design.
And then Cato puts it in over O'Neal. And trying to get O'Neal into early foul trouble is something the Rockets and anybody facing O'Neal will try to do. Their lineup for the rest of this series.
Yeah, anyway. I think it's their lineup. I don't know if you start that lineup, but I definitely think it's their best lineup.
Here's Nakbar off the glass.
You know, Nakbar was a terrific offensive player in Europe. And you can see Kobe gambles a little bit, allows Nakbar to get it. And right after the shot, Kobe waved over to the bench.
Now Payton on Nakbar. Nakbar with those three fouls. And at the buzzer, he puts it in. Payton's first points of the game. Gary is 4 for his last 20 in field goal attempts in the series. Drop it.
Yeah, 2 quick shots. Again, for both teams, start with Yao, start with Shaq, and play from that point on.
Mobley, three-pointer.
See, that was with Yao.
Depends on a couple of key factors. And I'll get back to it in a second, guys.
Here's Nakbar on a break. And Nakbar gets fouled, and then it looks like Malone was ready to get into it with him, and here comes Van Gundy, and you know that scene when Jeff gets into the middle of an altercation.
Yeah, I think that
the Rockets might have felt that Malone undercut Nakbar. Take a look.
Well, what happened, if you see it, Steve Francis and Karl Malone bumped into each other. It threw Karl Malone off balance, which threw him into Nakbar. Steve Francis took exception, thinking that it was done on purpose.
Now, you're right. He's off balance.
Yes.
There's no place to go. And now you also have only 2 officials breaking up the altercation instead of 3, with Joe Crawford still on the men.
Yeah, but I think the officials did an excellent job. They cleared the court. They're bringing them back out on the floor now. Tempers have kind of calmed down a little bit. It was a hard foul. I think you probably have to call it a flagrant foul because of that.
Well, of course, anytime Van Gundy comes out into a situation like this in April of '98, the famous, I guess infamous for Jeff scene with Alonzo Mourning, and there he is like a rag doll.
You know, at the time, it wasn't very funny, but...
O'Neal.
The difference is that Shaquille O'Neal gets deep. They'll learn how to play more physical, and the more he plays against Shaq will help.
And he still has that pretty good touch from the outside as well, which will make him doubly tough.
Now
Payton left hands one.
That's what he wants. That's what Payton did.
Not take him out. And then Bryant was able to rally the team, and they won going away. Shaq out, at least at the moment, as Taylor connects to make it a 1-point game. Points. Malone's been the big man with 19. Medvedenko, he'll drive. And he will score. Defensive foul, three-point attempt coming up on Friday night.
Yeah, and he's looking pretty good. So if you're wondering at home, and you're a guy who watched college basketball, in college that's a charge. In the pros is not, because he was inside the restricted area, and it was an excellent call by the official.
Out of control. Francis driving. Got it. Three-point game.
And he's happy that even after the tussle happened, guys, and the intensity raised, his team kept it together. I said belief or relief right now. He said definitely belief.
O'Neal with the rebound. Payton down the middle. That's George open for a three. Got it.
Nice job by Gary Payton.
For Devin George, the Los Angeles lead is 5. And Shaq rejects it. Payton out in front with Yao behind him, and the Laker lead is their largest of the game. Taking down to 4 minutes left, third quarter. LA up in the series, 2-1. Up by 8, and now only 6. Melvin Cato, foul number 2.
And now you look at this pick and roll. You see Yao Ming clearing out. Malone has to stay with Yao, which allows Cato to set the pick and roll and get an open dunk. Nice offense.
Legal mess and all the injuries that have befallen this team as Devin George pops one, and then he has a guy like George.
Great patience by the Lakers.
Finally, Payton's free. 4-3.
Wow. Great patience. Great patience. They had 3 or 4 average shots that they turned down. They used the clock, and they got the exact shot they wanted.
I'm not saying that was the dagger, but that was big. And then Yao answers with a deuce on the other end.
You know, Karl Malone and Payton have been in a ton of playoff series, but they haven't been in it with Kobe Bryant. They haven't been in it as role players.
That's a good point. They keep saying they're going to get it together, but in the third quarter, and they did it with Kobe not scoring. And O'Neal with 4 points. Jackson. Loading hook. 10 in this half. Kobe.
Yeah, the problem with double teaming Kobe, double team, and this is what we're talking about. Look at Jeff Van Gundy. Come, double. Yao doubles. The problem is Kobe's looking at Yao and thinking, that doesn't matter. I'm still quicker than you. And Jeff is thinking, come on, Yao, move your feet.
Wednesday night and go back with a 3-1 lead. Houston trying to secure a 6th game as O'Neal jams it in and gets fouled.
Another one going to stop him from getting it to the basket when he's that deep. Yao Ming should have backed off and allowed him to have that dunk. Now he has 5 fouls and he has to sit.
And he has to come out of the game with 10:37 remaining in the fourth as O'Neal goes collection. Trying to get it to Shaq, and Shaq goes down hard. Taylor over Malone off the glass. 11 rebounds for Shaquille. Bryant. Oh, boy.
Wow.
How many guys can do that?
You know, Jeff Van Gundy told me something interesting before the game.
Good hands play.
Well, we talked about Shaquille O'Neal and his great hands. That's a heck of a catch by him. If he played football, where would he play?
Well, tight end is the obvious spot. He might be a wideout.
Here we watch Kobe split the double team, take the hit, make the shot, and what do you get when you make that shot when you're coming back to the bench? High five and Phil Jackson.
Phil peeved about maybe a prior play.
Yeah, I think it was, and I don't know what it was. I think it was a lob, but I'm not sure.
Francis. And now Francis says, let me hear it. Turnover for the Lakers today.
I tell you, you're Phil Jackson. You're not happy with this game because they've had chances to take them out. Now it's a 2-point game.
Rush. Inside to Shaq. Got it. Blamed for the foul, but they're going to call it on Shaq. The foul is on Shaquille.
And that's a huge bucket there by Shaquille O'Neal. Guy in, even if he is Yao Ming.
Meanwhile, the Lakers still with Bryant on the bench as Payton drives the lane, floats one home.
Yeah, and the tough part with that was Cato could not.
With him on the bench. Yao guarding Malone. Here's Kareem Rush. And Rush had that one partially blocked. 4-point game. 18,000 plus standing at the Toyota Center as Mobley goes all the way.
Pick and roll, and it works now.
Under 50. 2-point game. Francis. He's inside the arc. Ties it. Timeout Lakers. Steve Francis with 16 and the one that ties. 81-81. Here comes Kobe. Do we see Portland again? No. Overtime for the fourth quarter. A couple of big baskets. He has 16. Shaq comes out to guard Mobley, leaving Yao free. 83-80.
On that before Yao got the ball. So good call.
Non-shooting foul. Mobley now. Mobley going to the hoop. To go. In overtime. To the basket goes Mobley.
Pick and roll. Once again here, Al, pick and roll. Shaq and Kobe get caught up into the screen. Nobody steps up to help. Katino Mobley now twice has gotten all the way to the basket off the pick and roll.
Payton. Malone's going to drive. Got it.
Big.
And foul.
More importantly, that's the 6th foul on Yao Ming.
So Yao Ming has fouled out, but the Rockets know that Malone. Taylor and Cato up front. And then Jackson has it stolen by Bryant. Kobe Bryant's going to go all the way off the glass and make it 88-87. So the Rockets went from having a 4-point lead and inbounding the ball with 6 on the 24 to a 1-point deficit, and Yao having fouled out in a nanosecond in effect.
The first was set up by Karl Malone's 3-point play. This was all Kobe Bryant, and that's what makes great players great, is they can struggle all game, but they're the one guy in the arena that never loses their confidence.
Out of 17 from the free throw line, the Lakers are 17 out of 31. And they've missed 14. The Rockets have missed 2 for the lead. No. 29 points. That big three-pointer. 11 rebounds for him. Bryant now all the way. Bryant slings it up. Gets the bounce.
The first time, Al, the first time this game, the Rockets did not send a double team. And I guarantee you it was a mistake. No double team. You can see Francis late here. Taylor late. Kobe gets all the way to the basket for a 3-point opportunity. I guarantee you that was miscommunication by someone on the Rockets not to come and get the ball out of Kobe's hands.
Kobe just smells it when he goes to the basket, makes a 3-point play out of it with under 40 to go. Kobe has 6 points in overtime. Francis nearly lost the ball and does, because he has to save it at the end line, and the Lakers come back the other way. The Lakers don't make anything here. Kobe's got the ball. Bryant swings it out to Fisher. He puts it up with 3 on the shot clock. And Malone gets the rebound. It would figure Malone again. Naturally. Karl Malone. Wow. 13 rebounds, 29 points, 47 minutes, 40 years old, torn jersey. Unbelievable.
Karl Malone has been absolutely unbelievable in this game.
Francis has just fouled out.
Unbelievable he's been. He's been the quickest guy to the ball most of the game. It's one thing that he gets open shots. It's another thing that the 40-year-old player on the court is the quickest guy to react to balls the entire game.
7 out of 21, 0 for 2 from three-point land, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. But the steal, and then at the end, as Paget puts one up, and the Lakers will get on the plane and say what they hope is good riddance to Houston. Had they lost, they knew they'd be making a trip back here at the end of next week. Now they can wrap it up if they win the game in Staples Center on Wednesday, which will be a 5th game. And so the Los Angeles Lakers in the same bracket with San Antonio, and the Spurs try to wrap up their series in advance tonight, are up 3 games to 1 in an overtime game here in Houston.com. Doc Rivers, Michelle Tafoya, and our entire ABC crew, this is Al Michaels saying so long from Houston, where the Lakers go up 3 games to 1.